Welcome to the Sheila Mack Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, reboot, and rebuild your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mack, and today we have special guest Bolu Adefemi. Bolu is a 14-year-old Canadian singer-songwriter of Zimbabwean and Nigerian origin who emerged as an important new artist in the summer of 2020 with her internationally acclaimed song, Make It Right. That's a powerful call to action about social injustices. Just weeks after first performing the song publicly, she was performing it for media nationwide and around the world and was soon honored with the Universal Women's Network Award and is currently the 2020 Youth Excellent Ambassador and 2020 Zimbabwe Young Achievers Award recipient. Bolu is already a world changer. This hugely impactful young woman continues to use her voice, determination, and many talents to make a positive difference in the world. All right, welcome to the show, Bolu.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Sheila. I'm very thankful to be here and I'm excited.
Yes, and okay, so I always start my show. This show actually came about after my best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps: The
Ooh.
Formula to Go from Rock Bottom Back into Action in Any Situation. And this last, I don't know, 15 months, almost 2 years now, it seems, we've had this universal pause and so many situations that we couldn't even imagine before. So, do you have a time maybe you could share with the audience about maybe a time in your business or personal life where you experienced a difficult situation and how you got back on track?
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Uh-huh.
Let me think. Hmm. Okay. So I think honestly, it's hard for me. I feel like because I'm still young, I don't really have much like business related. But I guess personal. Hmm. I mean, this isn't as like huge, but I guess when I was younger, I did move schools a lot. So I guess sometimes adjusting to different schools and meeting different people and getting to know different friends. Sometimes I guess it was hard for me to like adjust and connect with people. But in order to overcome that, I really just kind of went out of my comfort zone. And I had met at my second school a friend that had actually met friends at my other school, my third school that I moved to. So I guess that's one of the things that I would cause or choose to be a hard time.
Yes, and this last year, like for I have six children. I adopted three from birth, and
Hmm.
so they're all grown now and in college and beyond. So the college kids, they actually came home to stay because they live in the dorm, and
Hmm.
so that was a very interesting situation for us and hard even on my older young adults, because who's used to being home so much and
Exactly.
not connecting to your friends and peers. So I'd like for you to share a time in your life then where did this start, your singing and your passion for all you're doing? Excuse me one second.
It's okay. That's perfect. And now that you mentioned that, even it reminds me of like COVID itself, as like in this time right now, how it's kind of an obstacle that, obviously we're still going through, but it has had some effects on me as well as everyone else. And I think music is really how I've tried to overcome whether it's any stress I might have or any, confusion during this time. So yeah, that kind of also relates to that. Um, but
Yes.
in terms of where my music started, my passion,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I usually like to say that happened since birth because I've always loved to sing, and my mom said I was a very kicking child.
Uh,
But yes, I think I always just wanted to find this way to inspire people and just influence people. I always, yeah, wanted to be someone that was able to help people with anything they could be possibly going through. And I found music to be the easiest way because I already had gravitated to music. I listened to Jamie Grace when I was younger, even younger, and she really influenced me and inspired me. And she's a singer songwriter, she plays guitar. And so I found that a lot of people use music. There's a variety of platforms, there's YouTube, and
mhm.
I wanted to share my positive message, and I found music to be one of the best ways.
Nice. Yes. So that is something very healing.
Mhm.
And I know you can listen to music, and Tony Robbins says it'll change your state, your emotional feeling. So you listen to a sad song, and I mean, I have a song that you play that song and I will be in tears
Exactly.
within a second, and others where I'll be dancing and running around the house. I literally clean my house with music. I'll turn the music on and have fun, like reorganizing, cleaning, whatever I'm doing, because
Right?
it makes it fun instead of just boring.
Exactly.
And then I'm singing, and my singing is probably not anywhere close to your singing. If I could sing like you could, I'd be up on the rooftops and they wouldn't be able to shut me up. But anyway, so I'm a secret singer, but it's something that is so healing for all of us, especially during this time. And your song is, so did you write your song as well?
Yes, I did write my song Make It Right last year, actually. It's almost a year. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So can you share some of what's in the song, some of the words, and how that came to you? And
I would love to. So, actually, how it all came about, uh, is that last year, while everything was going on in terms of like Black Lives Matter protests and just COVID had just hit, and it was just a crazy time overall for everyone. I was
Mhm,
just thinking, I want to write a song that inspires people and touches people's hearts and just really spreads love because everyone was going through it. Everyone was feeling, you know, pain or trouble in different ways, and even still now. And so I wanted to make a change and an impact. But in that time, I was in school and I was like, when am I going to find the time to write a song? Because sometimes I feel like sometimes I might think too much into songs, but the one lyric that I knew I wanted to have if I did end up writing a song is Make It Right, which is
mhm,
actually the main part of my song, which is called Make It Right.
mhm,
And so what had happened is coincidentally, I was asked to sing and perform at a Black Lives Matter um, into a celebrate not celebration, but it was a commemoration in support of Black Lives Matter. And I
mhm.
was asked to perform there, and I was like, wait, what? This is perfect. Like this is where I can share my song. So I started writing and I started putting it together, and the words came to me at different times. It took me 2 days to write this because some words would come in one day, some the other day. But yeah, that's really where my inspiration came from and how it all came together.
Beautiful. That's incredible and so important. And there's, if you're listening in, this is Bolu, and she is 14 years old and wrote a song and performed for the Black Lives Matter movement, and she's done so many incredible things already. So little things make a big difference, big things make a difference, and use your talents. If you're listening in, whatever your talent could be, completely different from singing. I cannot sing very well, but whatever you do as your talent, you can share that right now with our world that needs so much healing and love and light right now. Just everybody makes such a difference. You'll be surprised. It's the grassroots efforts that are going to make the change that we really need in this
Mhm.
world at this time. I know for my kids, it was a scary, interesting time, and they never really got that into politics. And then they were very much into politics with
Mhm.
everything going on and very involved with it all. So it just changed. I think it's the change that our young people are going to bring.
Mhm.
You're our leader. You and all the young people on the planet are going to lead the future. And this time, it's the time of the COVID, the universal pause, all this crazy stuff going on also. But it's a time where things got a little more serious than before all this happened,
Mhm.
where you're really thinking about, what am I called to do and how can I make this change happen faster?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So important. So now I'd love to hear about maybe some of your goals or newer songs that are coming out. What's the future for you?
Yes, so I do have a song, Just Breathe, coming out, and it has been shown in a variety of places. And I'm very, very excited for this song because this is a song I wrote about how, like, self-care, it kind of revolves around self-care. And I feel like sometimes during life, not just for me, but for a bunch of people, we tend to just work, 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 and work, and we don't actually take time to like breathe and take in our environment. And then when you look back, you're like, when did I really have fun? And when did I really relax? And when did I do this and that? So the song is just a reminder to just breathe, as it's called.
Mm,
Take time for yourself. So I have that coming up, hopefully a music video coming up as well. That song will be releasing in the summer, so I'm very, very excited for that. And yeah, and just more interviews, and I'm writing more songs too, which every day I try to write a song, but yeah, that's kind of
beautiful.
what I've been doing.
Now, are you in school or doing online school with the COVID? What's school like for you?
Yes, I'm in online school right now. It's been crazy overall this year. We've been
Mhm.
in and out of school a few
Yeah.
times, but right now we're online for the rest of the year.
Yes, that's the thing.
Mhm.
My younger college, my two college kids are waiting to go to the campus, and they're
Mhm.
supposed to be able to start in August.
Mhm.
And so it has been beyond difficult to not be able to connect with friends as much or in the same way as we're accustomed to, I guess. And so, I mean, new relationships have shown up in different ways online, but there's nothing like hugging your friends and talking and laughing and joking. And yeah,
Right? Yeah.
yeah.
Our
It,
overall like socializing and everything has just changed drastically. And it's
mhm.
strange. Like there's no way for you to avoid this or be prepared for it. So you just have to adjust really and so.
Yes. Yes. Now, I was raised primarily by grandparents,
Mhm.
and my grandmother lived through the Spanish flu. She lived to be 103, and she lived through the Spanish flu, the Great Depression, and she would tell me all these beautiful stories of what she went through, and all her older friends would get together and have tea. And I'm this
Mhm.
little 5-year-old kid, and I would listen to their stories. And they were all beautiful, stoic women. They came from, I'm in Los Angeles, California. So it's like
Mhm.
everybody's there, all the different cultures. So I had people, grandma's friends were from all over. She was from Italy, one from Greece, one that escaped the concentration camps, all these
Wow.
stories. And they were these women that survived. And I thought, okay, you know what? We all are going to have a story. We're going to have to go through it. It's not something we created, all this crazy stuff. But what are we going to do? We're going to get to the other side of this, and together in
Mhm.
communities, people joining together, that's going to help us get to the other side in a beautiful place. And it's going to be our story. We're in such historic times right now. These are our stories. And everything that we do can make such an impact on our future.
I agree. I agree with that totally. Yeah, it's the way you really look at it and the way you take things, I believe, because there's a variety of people, but we're all being hit with the same thing, the same bullet, and it's the way you take the bullet and what you do with it and how you choose to live with it, I guess. So,
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. So now, some of your new songs, how many songs have you already produced or have out there already?
So out there right now, I only have two songs actually. I only have Make It Right and When Life Changed. So Make It Right is the song that you talked about earlier, and then When Life Changed was a song, I think the first song I ever released to the public on my
Mhm.
YouTube channel, and it's a song I wrote about COVID-19.
Wow. Okay. So let's get into the wording. And you wrote these songs. That's a lot of talent there, writing and singing. Incredible. So, could you share maybe some of the lyrics or how that song goes or what that's about a little bit more in depth?
For When Life Changed?
Yes.
Okay, so my favorite lyric would probably be just do the right thing for your family. We're all praying this disease will be over soon. Just remember this ain't all about you. And so I think that's my one of my favorite verses. And when I wrote this, my overall thought was just to a kind of anthem to remind people, to wash their hands, to social distance, wear your mask, and
Mm,
just try to do, the best that you can do as a citizen. And so by just remember this ain't all about you, what I really meant by that is at the start, students in my class I know and in a variety of other schools were like, oh my gosh, like, yes, this is amazing. We get breaks off school. And they thought it was just something fun. And then and even me myself at the start, I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be over soon. This is not bad. And I mean, it has been extended more. So, instead of taking this as like, I guess, a joyride in a way, or just, just continue to do your best and strive to do your best, and not only think of yourself but everyone else around you, the community and the family and everyone. So that's kind
Mhm.
of my favorite, one of my favorite verse.
Yes, that is so important, and what a great message during this time. It's like you want to have fun wherever you're planted, but then there's a serious side to this that's very serious, that to honor everybody and listen. Sometimes people are coming from a different place,
Hmm.
mask, no mask, this, that, whatever, but it's in the end there's a lot of fear and confusion, and it's like you got to give people love when they're so scared.
Exactly.
And yeah, to get to the other side of this, it's back to that community again. And so when did you start? So you started singing like before you were born, you were dancing. so, so now when did you get involved with the social justice for trying to right the wrongs of this planet? When did that really show up in your life?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I feel like I want to say 9 and up, because that's when I started guitar lessons.
Mm,
And so my guitar teacher, Tom Crickle, he was amazing, and I took guitar for 2 years, I believe, 3 years. But I remember, I think he once showed me this song, and I forget what it was talking about, but it was definitely something to do with social injustices, and I gravitated towards that song because I've always gravitated towards songs with like a meaning, and
hmm.
usually something that has a message behind it, because I feel like it's more meaningful, and it's kind of like you're connecting or talking to the artist. And I wanted my songs to be like that, and I wanted my songs to move. So I would like to say around the age of 9 is where I was inspired by those kind of songs.
That's really important. There's something they call the 9-year change, and it's when we start coming into our older, more adult ways.
Hmm.
9 years, if you look at any 9-year-old, that's when they start really coming into their own. And it sounds way too young, but it's something that really happens a lot. There's a whole study by Rudolf Steiner, who studies education, about this 9-year change that happens, where there's so much awareness beyond the self, beyond, okay, I need to be fed and I need to be taken to school and I want to play. And, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, there's other people here on this planet. These things are important. They matter.
Hmm.
And so
Exactly.
it's this whole change that happens. And I don't know how many younger people I've interviewed and talked with that have had that exact year where that awareness.
Oh yeah, that's oh true.
Yeah, it's so interesting. And so some of the things, did you get that, I guess the learning behind the social justice causes and this and that, was that from home, was that from school, from books? Was there a book that inspired you for all that?
Well, I was when I was younger, I read a bunch of books, to be honest, and I kind of shied away from that and started reading more during COVID. But I really do think it was mainly from my parents, from at home.
Hmm.
Obviously, of course, when you're younger, you're like, oh, the world is perfect. And at
Right.
first, it was kind of like, oh, wow, like this is interesting. This is really, there's different things happening around the world, different issues, different problems. And yeah, but it was mainly from home, and kind of like the decision for me personally on how I want to have an impact on this issues and these
Mhm.
issues.
Yes. That is so important. Family conversations and elders. I mean, I was blessed to have the older generation, so I had this living history
Mhm.
that was told to me. I didn't have to get it out of the boring books at school. Nothing personal about the books in school, but they're like all wrong, obviously, anyway. And so they don't have the truth. They don't have the emotion. They don't have the connection. It's dates and times, and there's no, it's not as
Intimate.
yeah, and that's the connection. When you get that connection and you see those, I'm you, you're me, this is us in humanity, and we have to make these changes together, and you see the pain and you feel the differences that can happen.
Mhm.
That's where there's some inspiration that happens, and you want to get involved. So families listening in, parents listening in, even if you don't have children, if you have children in your neighborhood, and you're able to talk with the parents and share some of your stories of the real histories that you've already been through, and ways to help, that can make all the difference It really can.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. Yes. And so one of the things I'm wondering is, was there one book or one story that was like your book or story? I asked this to some of the people that are much older than 14, but is there something, one particular book?
Um, wow. To be honest, I'm not quite sure. There are now that I'm reading once again, there are a variety of books that I've been interested into. But
Mhm.
my like actually this is a really good question. Wow. Um Honestly, I don't believe so. No, I don't think so. I think really it's just taking bits and pieces from a variety of books and like the lessons that I've learned from a variety of books and putting it together. But
Mhm.
a certain book, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, one of the things that I did with my incredible family of six with
Oh.
this huge, we adopted three and three of our own. So this huge family and very different. Everybody's coming from a different place really to become a family.
Mhm.
And one of the things I always uh I guess taught my children was to have discernment, whether you're reading a book in a classroom, whatever it is, yeah, put it through our values, your values, whatever that is for you. Make sure it goes through that value center and make sure it aligns. And if it doesn't, keep what works. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You don't, just because someone's older or it's in a book or somebody's teaching it, it doesn't mean it's all truth, because a lot of times people put their own slant
Right.
on things. And so, of course, by the time they were your age and above, they questioned me the most. I said, question everything. And they questioned me. And I was like, wait, what? Not me. But that was perfect. That's what you want. You want to have that freedom to do that. And it gives you the ability to just, that it's discernment to be able to walk away from anything not aligned. And it's something that's really important to have. It's nothing personal against something, but if a book isn't right, a lot of the history books aren't right. A lot of things are not right. So do the research. Do your
Yes.
own research. Talk with your family. Talk with your loved ones, and read the books, because readers are leaders, and you're going to get so much more out of the reading.
Mhm.
It really is. Yes.
That's true.
So, yeah, one of the things I'd love to hear also is maybe an example of some of your music that we could share at some point. That if you could send that over, I can add that to this. Um, so I don't know if you have that or not, but
Oh, right now?
yeah,
I may have an MP3. Let me check. Let me check. But I do have it. If you're able to, I do
yeah.
have it on my channel as well as different outputs like Spotify and Apple Music.
Okay,
Um,
great.
hmm. I'll take a look though.
Okay.
In the
So
mean, oh, sorry.
no, I'll talk while you're looking. So yeah, so that's something really important for parents listening in, grandparents, whatever. If you have children, there's not an age that you have to be to start contributing,
Mhm.
to contribute to what's going on in the world right now with their talents, and to use their talents, whatever it is, whatever their interest is. I have one child that's really into chess, and he ended up being a chess master, and he plays at
Ooh.
tournaments all over the world as an adult now, and makes a lot of money doing what he loves and has fun in it. And that's his chess was his thing, and building computers. So I think when he was 11, he helped network the Staples Center before they opened in California, as an apprentice. So he wasn't a paid student, but he actually was like a intern apprentice student that worked with the Step One Solutions was the company. And so I wanted my kids to go do those things. You don't have to wait. Now's the best time at the youngest age. And you know what? If you're listening in and you're 50 plus or 60, you're still the youngest you ever be right now. So go do whatever you want to do now and live your life, and just enjoy your talents, because then you're having fun. you start making money doing what you love. So
That's
that,
amazing.
yeah, that makes a difference. And yeah, I have another one that's a writer. That my daughter's into psychology. She would bring kids, Mom, this kid, we need to get help. This one, I found this one at school and they're cutting. They have a problem. She would do that as a young kid, and I was like, okay. And we would help these kids, and that was her passion. She's already worked at a. She's 25 now, but she's worked at a since she was 19. She worked at a foster care program, a home for girls that were pregnant with young babies, and she was their counselor, junior counselor. And
Wow.
so she did that while she was in school for psychology. And the boss was like, well, sweetheart, you look nice, you look sweet, you're not going to last a week. And she's like, no, I got this. And she's been there ever since. And so and and she connects with the kids, and she's able to help them because she has that's her heart.
Hmm.
So go with your heart. Singing
Exactly.
is your heart. And so that's it.
Thank
Yes.
you. And what you mentioned there, how the person said that she wouldn't be able to do it. That's the thing. Like, there's going to be along the way of whatever journey or whatever path you take, there's going to be people telling you that you can't do it or you're not able to or you're too small or whatever. There's always going to be something. And I think it's just important to, once you set your eyes on something that you're really, truly passionate about, that you just keep going and you keep persevering and you remember why you started it in the first place.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. The more they tell you you can't, the more you know you
Yeah.
can.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's ridiculous how we tend to listen to
The
our
outside.
peers and
Exactly.
outside people that really don't matter that much,
Mhm.
or they haven't accomplished the things that you want to do. You want to get feedback from other people in the music industry for you, or
Mhm.
feedback from people that are in the industry or already doing what you're doing or starting to do, not somebody that's has no idea.
Yes, because at the end of the day, it's true. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be the one doing the work. And so you
Mhm.
really want to be doing something that you're happy with and not something you're doing to please others. Because then it's not fun, right? Like,
Right.
that's important.
Yes, definitely. Okay, and so for the music part, if you weren't able to find that, I can add that in before it goes to air. So,
Okay. I
okay.
did send in MP3 on Gmail.
Okay, so as long as we can download that, we'll talk after. So, all right, so that's wonderful. Now, where can people find your music?
Love this part. Okay, so I have YouTube, Instagram, all that kind of fun stuff. So for my YouTube, it is Bolu Sings, capital Bolus, capital Sings, as well as my Facebook. And then for my Twitter and my Instagram, it is Bolu Sings one, same spelling, just no upper cases, and then the number one. So it's Bolusings, and then the number one. And then for my music, you can search up Bolu Sings on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Deezer, on Amazon Music. I'm on a bunch of platforms, so if you pretty much search up my name, you can find my music and my songs.
Wonderful. Now, this is a question I ask at the end of the interviews. I ask a guest to share about what they would tell their younger self. Now, since you're 14 years old, I don't know, what would you tell maybe your 9-year-old self, your younger self? What would you tell your younger self?
If I could tell my 1 second, let me think about this. Um, hmm. Okay. If I could tell my younger self something, I think I would tell my younger self that honestly, I feel like I've applied it today though, but um I mean, this is something I would want everyone else to know as well, but I think it'd be that my feelings are valid and what
Mm,
I have to say is important. Because
yes.
I feel like sometimes as you're growing up, for me personally, I feel like there's some times where you feel as if, oh, maybe I shouldn't add my input towards this, or maybe I should just agree with them, even though I have an idea that might, potentially work. And so it's in a variety of places, workplaces, or just school environments. And now that I'm older, even a little older, I realized that what you do have to say as a person does matter, and what you do have to input does matter, and your feelings are important. And
Yes.
so that's also something I feel strongly on. So, yeah.
Wow, that is wisdom about lifting your voice
Mhm.
from our new incredible singer using her voice for social justice on this planet. That is perfect and incredible and right on point for what we need to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bolu, for being a guest on the show.
Thank
And
you.
yes, we look forward to sharing and interviewing with you again and sharing more songs as they show up. All
I
right.
can't wait.
All right. And for those tuning in, stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.